All right, what's good? I go by Digital Crates. I'm representing for HipHopSince1987.com. And we're here today to talk about the upcoming Red Bull Batalla competition. And I got with me on the line the two-time reigning champion, Yartzi. Man, salute to you. Thank you for taking the time today, my guy. How you doing?
All good, bro. Visiting Puerto Rico for a couple of days from Miami, so I'm doing the interview from my homeland, and just kicking over here. And thanks for the opportunity of having me here, and let's do it.
Yeah, no doubt. This is a big competition coming up. I've been tapped in. I'm really, really excited for what's to come in the competition. You're definitely looked at as probably the number one most fierce competitor. But for the people that don't know you yet, maybe you could just tell them your name, a little bit more about where you're from, and how you got your start with music.
Well, my name is Gio. My real name is Gio. I go by AKA Yartzi. Um, I started in battle in freestyle battles in 2016. I started in 2014, but in 2016 I got my first opportunity to represent Puerto Rico in a world championship. Um, the first competition I went, which was in Chile, was the one that set me up for my career because um, my first battle ever internationally. They put me like the first battle, the first time like representing Puerto Rico. My first battle, they put me up against the multi champion of the world. He's a Mexican named Asesino.
Mhm.
And that was basically my first battle ever outside of Puerto Rico, and I went against him, and they gave us two ties. They gave us ties, and then he ended up taking the battle, but it was a super big battle. It was my debut, and in the freestyle battle competition. And after that, my career, like I started getting invited to other tournaments. I started going, started competing to get my chances, and I managed to get a name within freestyle battle, representing Puerto Rico in major competitions, not battle, not Red Bull, sorry, but other major competitions
Mhm.
that a lot of them are supported and sponsored by Red Bull. I didn't get the chance to until 2019, even though I was going to major tournaments. I didn't get a chance to be in Red Bull Batalla because there was no Red Bull in Puerto Rico. Red Bull didn't exist in Puerto Rico, so I had no chance. But after like actively competing and winning some tournaments that even Batalla was sponsored, when the circuit in Red Bull in the United States was open for the first time in 2019, they gave me a direct invitation to be a part of it, and that was like the battle I was missing. I had been in all of the other big tournaments, but I haven't never had a chance to be in Batalla, which is the most mainstream one, the most viewed one.
Yeah.
And in 2019, I got my first chance. I won it, and then came next year, 2020. I won it again, the first two-time champion, and now I'm going back this year to see if I can get that three-peat. If I get that three-peat, then I'm gonna hang the gloves in for a while in Red Bull. And other competitions will stay active, but if I get the chip this time, then I'm gonna just sit back a while.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched some of the footage of your previous battles, and you're definitely a fierce competitor. I want to take it back just a little bit. Where did the Yartzi name come from? How did you get your moniker?
Do you have this? You ever heard this expression when mothers when they're gonna like describe their kids, they're like, oh, this is my sporty kid, and this is my artsy kid. You ever heard that expression?
Yeah.
Well, that was basically it. My mom was always used to tell people I was artsy. I've been creative since I was a kid. I've been into poetry. I was been
Yeah.
into drawing. So that's always been like I was been like the creative son in my family. So I just added a J, it makes sense. So I stuck with it.
So where did you first figure out that you had the knack for putting words together and freestyling?
I always wrote songs. I always been into music. My family has a lot of musicians. My mom, uh, sorry, sings. My dad was a percussionist. My brother raps. My brother was the one who who introduced me to hip hop. So it was always been in my life. My mom always does also does poetry, so words and writing has always been in my family, in my blood. But it wasn't like till 2014 or 15 where I tried freestyling. I would usually freestyle, but I would freestyle like storytelling, like with my friends when we be out chilling or whatever. But competitively, it wasn't like till like 2014 where I got I went to my first competition. A friend of mine saw a flyer in somewhere in Puerto Rico, and they told me like let's go. At the beginning I didn't want to go. I wasn't familiarized with that, and even now the competitions are more mainstream and maybe like it's more family friendly, to a degree. At those times, they were still like raw. Like in 2014, the scene on freestyle battle in Puerto Rico was still raw. It was like people screaming. Like it wasn't like something mainstream like now. And I didn't want to go because I knew it was like that, and the competition was in the north side of Puerto Rico, and I was from the south side. So definitely, it wasn't gonna be a good experience. But I went, and dude, like my first competition, I won it. I went for the first time,
That's
and I
crazy.
won it. And it was like I just had discovered that, and I saw like the energy with the people, and I fell in love with it. And from that point on, I started like doing it more professionally, like training more,
Mm.
like actually crafting my art. And after that, it was all good.
So you got definitely strong delivery, crazy punchlines, deadly punchlines, but you also have the setup and the stage presence. But for people that haven't seen you battle, how would you describe your style of rapping and battling?
Energetic, energetic. I like to in my stage presence and in my punchlines and my lines. I just want to get you off your seat. There are people that have different styles. They go more of the lineup of the thought of the deep punchlines. The punchlines that are more information, more like deep thinking. Even though in my songs I like to go that direction, in freestyle I want to get you off your seat. I want to
Yeah.
I want to just electrify you with those punchlines where you just can't contain yourself. That's my style. That's what I use in my flows and in the way I manage the circuit. And that's what I want to do. I want to get you like ignited, energetic.
Yeah, and you definitely have the a championship performance. There's got to be something in your words. What can you say separates you from other artists that are in this competition?
The acknowledgement that you win battles with more than punchline.
Yeah.
You know, everybody has a punchline. One has stronger than other, but everybody that's in the circuit, they're in there for a reason, and they can sit down a while and think about punchlines, and that's great. But it's understanding that the punchline, even though it's the most important thing, it's complementary to
Yeah.
other things. You have to be able to transmit your punchlines. You have to be able to make people feel them. It's the ability to make people feel the punchline.
Yeah.
You can do punchlines, but if people doesn't the people don't feel it, it doesn't work. And if you make people feel the punchline, you even have to say less. You even
Yeah.
have to like create less because you manage the way of transmitting the idea without being so extra.
Mm.
And that's what most of some, not most of them, but I think that's what the competitors right now separates me from them. But it's something they'll learn with experience. With experience, they're gonna catch up on that. But I think that's the main reason.
And your music you've been putting out is really dope, really fresh sounds. But it's so different writing a song and freestyling and battling. How do you balance those two worlds together in your time?
It's like having two different jobs. Two
Mm.
different jobs. I try to. I have ways of operating differently for each one of them. It starts with the preparation. The preparation on each one of them is completely. They look alike, but it's completely different. It's completely different moves, and that's the way I approach it. When you're gonna write a song, it's different. It's a battle. A lot of freestylers have because most freestylers their songs sound like freestyles.
Yeah.
It sounds like freestyle because they're creating in freestyle. You have to create and then think to a certain degree because while you're thinking, you have to keep rhyming. So
Yeah.
you have to think second. It sounds a little, but you have to think second and while you construct. And when you're doing songs, it's completely opposite. You can't just start and on the way you just decide where it goes.
Yeah.
Obviously the formation of the song is different, but when you're writing a song, you have to have the idea clear completely before you start. So because every line has to make sense, it has to work in a different way. And in freestyle, every line can be the idea an idea of its own. But when you write, every idea needs to be like tied to the other one perfectly.
Yeah.
So that's the way I look at it, and that's the way I practice it, and I get prepared.
You've really done a lot in the last few years. What keeps you motivated to keep going and battling and making music and getting better?
It's a personal goal. It's like trying to get the best out of yourself. When you think you reached your limit, then you want to try to reach higher, and you want to try to start new things to do new things. At least when what keeps me at least motivated in freestyles is that every time I win, then I want to come back and try something else that I didn't try in the competition before. Maybe new flows, maybe a new rhyme scheme,
Mm.
maybe a different vibe. So that's it's like learning. I want to
Yeah.
keep going because I want to keep learning and I want to keep expanding and I want to keep like breaking my own limits. So that's what keeps me going.
Yeah, I know that's right. And how do you prepare? Like, what is the process? Not just for this Red Bull competition, but for any other battle. What's the preparation like?
I prepare less than before,
Mm.
because before I had to like I would freestyle, dude. I have a friend over here that I've never even talked to most people in my lifetime as much as I rap with him. We've
Mm.
rapped like so much, like every day, every day, every day, every day. But now I train less. But I train less not because I don't have time or I don't want to. It's because it's not as necessary now. When you know exactly the things that are required to win a battle,
Yeah.
then and you focus on other things than just training your words, training your words, training your words. Because if your brain can do it, your brain can do it. You can put any you can train and train and train, and it can give you a little bit of agility. But already you're mastering that and knowing how to freestyle, and you know how to do it. It's like
Yeah.
okay, I know how to do this. Now what else can I train to construct it? How can I train my mind to focus? How can I train my mind to get ideas quicker? What can I feed to it? So I don't train as much like as freestyling every day as before. I train a little less, but I train my mind in other ways that will help me. I have the words, I just need to concentrate in that moment to connect it, and
Mm.
and and that's more than like training every day and rhyming every day. It's
Yeah.
a lot of techniques to stay from techniques to breathe better to techniques of staying focused more time,
Yeah.
and those type of things. That's what I do regularly now to this degree.
And there's so many different kinds of battles. I know some of them have beats playing, some of them it's a beatboxer, some of it is just a cappella. For you though, what's your favorite mode of battle?
My favorite, I have two. I have two. I have two. I have the the 4x4. That's a format in freestyle battles where I rap 4 lines and the other one raps 4 lines and then I go back to 4 lines and it's a constant. I like that one. That I could say that's my stronger part, and I also enjoy it because I think that's that's the specific that the 4x4 is the the perfect format for mind agility because it gives you so little time to like answer back that who dominates the 4x4 is the person with the most agile mind,
Yeah.
and you have to keep your guard up at all time, because if you do a format of minutes, he does a minute, you just chill while he does his minute, you're here, and it's all good. But then when you have to attack in 4x4, that doesn't happen because it's constant. So whoever loses the grip in the moment loses, and that's adrenaline, pure adrenaline.
Yeah.
And I also like the minutes when they give minutes, but not the regular minutes like attacking is all good, but the minutes where they give you minutes and you have to like tell a story, or they give you like an image so you can like talk about it. That is my second most like format.
And this Red Bull competition in a couple weeks is going to be really major. What do you have coming though after that? Like, what's going on throughout the rest of this year?
After like in October, finalizing Red Bull, I'm gonna be a judge in a world championship
Nice.
that's called God Level. God Level is sponsored also by Red Bull. And this time I'm gonna be a judge. It's one of those, bro. You don't even imagine when you have like seven teams from the world, like one from Spain, one from Mexico, and especially if you have battled with all of them, because I've battled with all of them and I know all of them, and I know how good they are, and they're also my friends. So it's hard, but I'm gonna be there for the first time. It's my second time judging a major tournament. The first one was the Red Bull National in Mexico. So that's what I have in October. I'm gonna be in a mini tour in November in United States, and in January and February I go back to God Level, but as a participant, not as a judge. I'm gonna do a tour with them as a participant. I'm gonna be teaming up with the Red Bull champion of Costa Rica. That's gonna be two against two, and it's gonna be the me and him. So looking forward to that, and a couple of things going up.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to all that too. Past all that, a few years in the future, what are some of your goals? Like, where do you see all this taking you a couple years down the line?
Well, I don't think I still feel like I have a like a good 3 or 4 years more of competing, a good of freestyling. But in the freestyle world, after that, and when wild, judging the events that I don't want to compete anymore, and organizing them,
Mm.
and organizing the events, bringing more international events back to Puerto Rico, being that person that does that. And music wise, I'm right now like doing freestyle battling because that's what has me here. But that's also a good door and a good way to use that to catapult your music career, because
Yeah,
then you have your fan base, and then it's easier, because the hardest thing when you start in music is creating a fan base,
yeah.
and that's created when you're in battles and people follow you. So in a while, use that. So when I start launching my music, I can hopefully start living of shows of my songs instead of battling. But that will come. Till now, I'm looking forward to the national again, the international, and some more years where we're gonna be their headache, not going
Eh,
anywhere still.
you've really become a cornerstone of this movement. Is there any advice you could give to some of the young artists and battlers tuned in to get to where you are right now?
Yeah, never take anything for granted. Never act like you have everything. Never act like you're the best, or you think you have nothing to learn, because that's not true. You can be the best one in your block, in your country even. And when you go somewhere, there's someone better than you. They'll take your feet back to earth. Keep practicing and keep going hard, even if you win. Like, don't ever settle and don't ever think you reached your maximum potential, your maximum goal, because you never do that. You always keep going. So keep going. Don't focus on that. Don't ever sit back or relax if you win something, and keep going hard.
Oh, yeah, before we wrap up, I was wondering if you had any shout outs or any thank yous or anybody you wanted to big up.
Yeah, I mean, everybody from Puerto Rico, everybody who always supports me, even though we still don't have Red Bull Batalla, they know I do this for them. And to the people of Latin America who always support me when I go to battle, who always cheer me up, who always hype my punchlines, and also to the people from Red Bull. They always make these things possible. They always give us a mainstream voice to get heard, you know. And everybody who roots for me, and even those that don't, thank you all. And that's it.
Yeah, big shout out to Red Bull. We're really looking forward to September 18th. Do you have any last words for the people that are tuned in?
Enjoy life. Enjoy life. This past year has been a little difficult to all of us, but use it in your favor and learn something and enjoy life as much as you can.
All right, well, I want to wish you good luck in this battle, but I don't really think you need it. I think the other competitors need it against you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, well, big respect, man. Thank you so much for taking this time today. Many blessings.
Thank you, brother.
All right, have a good one.